Today we're going to see if I should put a ring on it because we're trying Beyonce's whiskey. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today I don't really know what to say here. I am reviewing Sir Davis. This is Beyonce's rye whiskey. She did a very cool thing by not putting her name directly on the bottle. Apparently it's named after her father or grandfather. I read the story, but I forgot that small detail. Apparently, he was like a whiskey bootlegger, so it does kind of run in her family. I don't know how much of that is just legend and lore, if it's real, but she actually went through a proper step to do this. She got the master distiller responsible for Hennessy to make a rye whiskey that they finish in an Oloroso sherry cask. I believe that same distiller does Glenmorangie. I don't know if I say that right or not. I feel like I mess that name up every time I say it. But apparently he does some scotches as well. So she made a rye whiskey finished in sherry casks. This comes in at 88 proof. I got to be honest with you guys, this bottle is one of the most beautiful bottles I think I've ever seen a whiskey in. It's going to be funny now, though, because people are going to come in asking for the whiskey with the horse, and they're going to think they're talking about Blanton's, but they're probably talking about this one. I did pay a good amount for this bottle. It was $90, $95 after tax. I got to give her props. She didn't put her name on the bottle. She very well could have. And, you know, people who are tuned into Beyonce probably already know that this is a thing. I had no idea this was a thing. I had no idea that Beyonce was making whiskey these days. I'll be completely transparent and upfront with you guys. I don't think I'm going to like this for a few reasons. One, and this is not a knock to Beyonce, celebrity whiskey tends to not be very good. It's usually kind of cheap sourced crap. This one seems to be a little different in that regard because they're not sourcing necessarily. Celebrity whiskey doesn't really have a good reputation. And B, or two, I forget how it's a rye whiskey, which I don't like, and it's finished in sherry cask, which I'm typically not a fan of. There are exceptions, but we're going to try today and see if Beyonce knocked this out of the park. So let's go ahead and give it a nosing, and let's see how I feel. I freaking love this bottle. I genuinely love this bottle. I think this is one of the coolest bottles of whiskey ever. Looks like a perfume bottle or something. I love it. No, it smells good, man. Got to be honest. Some orangey kind of note in there. It smells like toasty, kind of like a warm bread. It's pretty proofy on the nose for it being 88 proof. It's pretty pungent on the nose. But it's not an unpleasant nose, but it's not something that I would typically go for. There's a weird fruit note on here too that almost reminds me of like cantaloupe or something. Pretty fruit forward, a little grainy and a little harsh. If we're being honest, I apologize, Beyonce. I apologize. It's kind of shifting into like a chocolatey note. This is very interesting. It is not unpleasant by any stretch. It is probably better on the nose than a lot of finished rye whiskeys I've had. The only exception I think would probably be like Midwinters. I really like Midwinters on the nose. But it's nice. It smells very pleasant. Pretty fruity. It doesn't give... I would not have guessed this was a rye whiskey if I was just guessing it off the nose. There's none of that like licorice and mintiness to it that I get in a lot of rye whiskeys. It's not like that at all. It's honestly not bad. All right, let's give it a mouthing. Let's see how we feel. It's pretty fucking good, man. It drinks hot too, though, which is so strange. I guess it's because it's a rye whiskey. It drinks a little hot, a little spicy, but you get that baking spice on the palate. There's some fruitiness that carries over as well. It is pretty grainy, though. It has like this, like I've called it like a chalky consistency, kind of. It's kind of dusty, like a dustiness to it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think it's perfectly passable rye whiskey that should probably cost you around $40-50. The fact that it's $90 is absolutely ridiculous. It's only because it's Beyonce. That's the only reason this costs $80. If this was not her brand, not in this bottle, which I'm assuming this bottle design is part of the cost. It has to be because, I mean, this thing is heavy. The cork is heavy. I've never seen another bottle shaped like this, so it's probably a custom bottle design, which is not cheap either. But I gotta be honest, this is for sure one of the better celebrity whiskeys I've had. It's better to me than like Gypsy, which is another finished whiskey. It's super fruity on the palate. I think this is a smart move for Beyonce because I think this is going to be a gateway for a lot of people into whiskey. They're going to go and try to support Beyonce. They're going to try this and like it. It's a sweeter profile than I would typically expect in a rye whiskey. Yeah, it's not bad. It's really not bad. I'm not going to rate it super, super high because it's good. It's not something that I would gravitate to. If this wasn't for let's be honest, if I didn't make content and make videos I would never have bought this bottle in a million years. I never would have tried it. And I'm glad I did, to be honest with you, because it's not bad. I'd like to see maybe them try to do a bourbon. Let's be fair. That's why I bought this bottle. I'm a whiskey dork. This isn't what I'm searching for when I'm looking for whiskey. It's not in the proof range that I like for whiskey. I'd be curious to try this at cask strength. I'd be very curious to see what this tastes like at cask strength. But this is by no means bad, but the price is insane. $90 for this is absolutely bonkers. But again, celebrity whiskey, custom bottle. You get it. So what would I give this? I would give this like a solid 6.1 maybe. It's not bad. It's not great. It's better than some finished ryes I've had for sure. But there's some that are way better than this, obviously, too. And especially they don't cost what this costs. But I'm glad I have this. It's a cool little conversation starter for the shelf. And it's going to look really pretty on there, too. So Beyoncé, well done. You know, I think that's a pretty solid whiskey. I was expecting pretty much nothing from it because I don't like rye, I don't like finishing, and celebrity whiskey tends to not be great. But you exceed all those expectations, but it's still, to me, not super, super great. But it is good. If you have $90 free and you want to support Beyoncé, this is a good way to do it. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below. Let me know if you A, knew this existed, and B, if this is on your radar. While you're down there, subscribe as well. If we can hit 2,500 subscribers in the year 2024 on YouTube, I'm going to do a 3 allocated bottle giveaway. So make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, cheers. A big thank you to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen right now.